the Wheelie in-depth. We've had such a great response on the Wheelie, and it's created such a hype on the actual portal that we've decided now that we're going to go in-depth and actually give advice on how it's done. We've employed the services once again of Brian Kappa, because he's the best at it, and he's going to show us step for step how it's to be done, frame for frame, and let it be really self-explanatory once he's doing it. I think this is very good to learn from. Enjoy. Brian, can you put it into words and in slow motion what the guys must do in wheeling, from the guy who starts from the beginning to the pro wheelie? If you can explain.
Well, you know, the biggest thing, the bottom line with the wheelie is that you want to get it onto balance point. So, in other words, just before the front wheel falls down and just before it goes over and you land on your back. So, to get it onto that balance point is the most difficult part, because it's incredibly difficult to have the throttle control and the clutch control. And of course, if it does go too far, you need to be ready to pull the clutch, hit the back brake, and decelerate at exactly the same time. So that all takes years and years of experience and training to be able to do that. But like anything, it's like practice. Right. So the best thing to do, the way I learned, and I often teach people this, is to find a little bit of a gradient, an uphill, and then instead of having to worry about clutch, brake, or clutch, accelerator, and back brake, leave the back brake out of it. You've already got so much, you know, on the line with your clutch and your accelerator, that we're going to use our feet dangling on the ground to act as the back brake, just to get the feel of where the balance point needs to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in first gear, we're going to find a bit of an uphill, and then we're going to let the clutch out, and we're going to go past balance point, and the bike's actually going to flip out backwards. Once it flips out backwards, our feet are going to be on the ground to protect us from falling over backwards. Right. Then what we're going to do is with our feet, that's going to act as our back brake, and the front wheel will come down again. And instead of the front wheel touching the ground, we're going to hit a bit of gas again. And once we hit the gas again, the back wheel, the front wheel will come up, and the back, you know, it'll stay on the back wheel, and we're going to control that on the accelerator. Now that's going to take a bit of time to get the clutch, accelerator used to it. Once we've done that, obviously, once we're skilled more, we're going to now put one of our feet up onto the back brake on the right foot peg and act as a back brake now, but the left leg will still be there in case you miss the back brake.
Okay.
And what we're going to do once we've got that dialed, and you know, you're going to go up and down the street or wherever you're doing it. Don't do it on the street, but you're going to do it up and down wherever you find an uphill, until you've got that perfect feeling of where the balance point is. And once you're used to the back brake, and once you've of course got the back brake dialed, then you're going to put your other foot on, and then you dial. Then you're going to be on that balance point. But the idea is not to run on the brake the whole time. The idea is to keep it on balance point using the clutch and the accelerator, and only if you have a problem you hit the back brake.
Now, time frame. Everyone's thinking they're going to look at this and do it in 2 or 3 weeks. This actually takes years, doesn't it?
Well, to perfect the wheelie on any surface takes years, but to get the throttle control and the clutch control 100% can take you one afternoon. You know, I learned it when I was 12 years old, and I got it in one afternoon. Okay, I used a trials bike, so the seat was a little lower. So, you know, if you have access to a trials bike, I would use that, or even take the seat off the motorbike, because then it's lower, or use a smaller type bike. And you know, you guys have got access to all of those kind of bikes, but you know, a lower bike will definitely give you a lot more room for your feet to touch the ground. On these particular bikes, you're quite high off the ground, so it's a little bit difficult to touch the ground. But you know, once you've got that accelerator, clutch control, back brake dialed, you can start doing circle wheelies, and you can start playing around
controlling
with it. It does. It's like anything. It's time in the saddle, years and years of training to really perfect it. But to get the action on the accelerator right, you could probably do it in a day or two.
It's actually quite quick. In honesty, how many times have you fallen doing it?
Well, you know, the way that I've explained it now, I never fell off once, because it's such a controlled way of doing it, and nothing really can go wrong unless you really get throttle happy and you whiskey throttle the bike and roots out. That can happen, of course, but if you do it controlled in a controlled environment, and especially using a smaller type, maybe a 4-stroke bike, you know,
230 type of thing,
that type of bike that doesn't have a power band, you can't go wrong, you know. So yes, you can loop it out when you start getting clever, and you know, nobody wants to drag their feet down the road when they're showing their mates how to wheelie. But you know, once you get further down the line and you're starting off, you know, with the wheelie with your feet on the pegs, you can maybe take a handful too much and loop the bike out. So that can happen, but touch wood, I've never looped it out and you know, made a fool of myself. Hey, I'm Brian Kappa. Stay tuned to Offroad Fanatics, where in the next episode I'll be teaching you guys how to do a stoppie.